This is actually a way for the Russians to, in essence, declare that they have a presence in the Western Hemisphere.
Tesla drivers across the country are experiencing a strange phenomenon where something scary appears on their car's monitor.
Those would not include injecting yourself with your son's blood, right?
That's right.
Why'd you do that?
Is this proof that giants are real? Everything used to be a lot bigger due to oxygen levels and other factors.
Hey guys, welcome back. Tonight I got a set of videos that are going to blow your mind. So if you guys are ready, let's go right ahead and check these out.
This is actually a way for the Russians to, in essence, declare that they have a presence in the Western Hemisphere. And they're doing this in response to our moves with Ukraine, where we have given the Ukrainians the right to use our weapon systems, the weapon systems that we've built, that we've given them, to hit targets in Russia, on Russian soil, that are directly affecting the war in Ukraine.
Yeah. And I think the biggest question that people have is obviously the proximity is very close. It might jump out as concerning, but what sort of capabilities do these ships actually have?
So let's take a look at this one. This is the Admiral Gorchkov. This is the ship. This is a frigate, and it has actually stealth technology. It was commissioned in 2018, and it is designed to carry a variety of different missiles. Among these are the Caliber missile, which is basically a land attack cruise missile, although there are submarine and surface ship variants, has a range of a little over 1,200 miles and a warhead that's about 1,100 or so pounds. And then the other possibility is the Zircon missile. This is a hypersonic missile. The other one was a...
The other one's a little older.
It's older, exactly. Yeah. Whereas this one is much newer. This picture was taken in 2022, but this is the Admiral Gorchkov showing... firing this particular missile, the Zircon missile, because they did that not only in this picture, but they also did it 2 years before that in a test run. So this is a hypersonic missile. It can travel at 9 times the speed of sound. So that's what the Admiral Gorchkov can do. Very similar things can happen with a Kazan. This is a submarine. It is capable of launching Caliber missiles as well as Zircon missiles and several other types of missiles. It is designed, of course, to provide the Russians with naval stealth capabilities, and like all submarines, it is designed to be undetected until the very last moment that it is used in combat.
And that right there is exactly why I do not watch news anymore. Like, is CNN in the business of providing information or propagating fear? Because as far as I know, that ship is not off the coast of Florida like they want to paint it, but on the coast of Cuba, and which is normal for Russia to have ships going in and out of Cuba. It's not the first time. But of course, CNN wants to paint it as, oh, they're right off the coast of Florida, so get ready for war. I mean, you know, it is what it is, but yeah.
Ireland just performed a live satanic ritual on stage for the Eurovision 2024 semifinals. Viewer discretion is advised. At the end of this clip, there is some demonic possession being reenacted, and if you don't know what Eurovision is, it's an international song competition where each country performs a song and their performances are voted on.
I don't even know what to say on that one, but you guys already know my stand on music and this type of videos that they've been coming out with, so I don't have much to say anymore. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments below.
Those would not include injecting yourself with your son's blood, right?
That's right.
Why'd you do that?
And one day I was talking to my dad and he said, I need to tell you, I had this really scary situation where he said, I wrote a brief, I walked away, I came back and I saw that my words were a jumbled mess. I was experiencing cognitive lapse and I wasn't aware of it. He's 71. He said, I'm terrified of losing my mind.
Yes.
And I said, Dad, how interesting, because right now the team and I are talking about plasma infusions. And so I said, if you're interested, I'm happy to give you a liter of my plasma. And then my 17-year-old son was there, and he's like, hey, if you guys are doing it, I'm in. So my son gave me a liter of plasma. I gave my dad a liter of plasma. The data showed that in me, there was no effect. But in my dad, his speed of aging reduced by 25 years.
Okay, so now we're getting into the theories about taking the blood of children.
So this is very common. We do organ transplants. We all donate blood. So it's just in a slightly different frame, but it's very much a part of.
Well, it's a recognizable frame. And by the way, I'm not endorsing any of this, but there is a frame, to use your word, on the internet of like super rich tech billionaires living forever on the blood of children.
Yeah.
Not a super appealing frame, I would say.
Yeah.
This is that.
Yeah, and we did it openly.
Well, guys, there you have it. It's not a theory anymore. They are actually doing it. At least this guy is doing it. His son willingly provided the plasma, but that goes to prove that it is true that they're using children's blood in order to stay younger. It might not be living forever, but there you go. Another conspiracy that becomes truth. This is just horrible. Because I was hoping that all that was just, baseless theories, but now that this guy just proved it to be the truth and that it actually works, it's just scary. Does that also prove the vampires are real? I mean, vampires are immortal. And what do they consume? You guys tell me in the comments below. What do you think about that?
Is this proof that giants are real? Everything used to be a lot bigger due to oxygen levels and other factors. Like, take a look at this prehistoric centipede. Think about dinosaurs compared to your average animal today, or a megalodon compared to your regular shark. Take a look at these books. Are dinosaurs reading them? Or these swords? Or the very common large doorway? Must have been very inconvenient for normal-sized people. Not only to build, but to operate. And who was using these stairs? Or making these footprints? So these enormous skeletons were found and given to the Smithsonian so they could research them. Look at this skeleton compared to the construction truck. That's huge. And there was all of this documentation that the Smithsonian was going to research. But somehow it all got destroyed. And the researchers don't deny the existence of giants. They don't think it's out of the question. And this list of large artifacts goes on and on and on. Who are they for and why are there so many of them? Giants are also mentioned in the Bible, in many cultures, in old maps. Despite the distance or time that they lived apart from each other, they all have the same description, and they all know of these beings. I have more examples down in the playlist below. Follow for more.
There is a lot of information out there from different cultures that do believe in giants and claim that giants really existed. But I think the reason why they trying to hide the fact that giants existed is only so that they could disprove the Bible. Because if they come out and show proof that giants are real or that there were giants alive at some point in time, it will give credence to the Bible, and there's no way that they will allow that to ever happen. Because, part of their agenda is to deny that there's a God, and anything that has to do with God or a claim done in a book that is supposed to be inspired or dictated by God, they have to deny it.
These are supposed to be some of the most verified images of giants. There's a part of history that just is not being told. Hieroglyphics in Egypt showing massive human-like entities.
There's a giant footprint in granite in South Africa.
It's about as tall as you are, 6 foot tall, a footprint.
Look at this. There's the big toe and the other 4 toes down to the small toe, down to the heel. What's fascinating about this is this piece sticking out here. It's like when you put your foot in mud and you pull it out, your toes will lift up a little mud.
That's got to be the foot of a 20 to 40 foot creature.
There was another kind of human on this planet which wouldn't go along with Darwinian evolution.
There was a petrified finger that was found. Tell us about that. Was it biological?
Oh, very much so. So they've scanned it. They can see the tendons and the bones, and it's very much organic finger bone with the fingernail as well. And if you would have attached that to a human and done the analysis, it would have been over 20 foot tall. Maybe we're talking Anunnaki or the offspring, the Nephilim, here on Earth. Maybe these Bible stories have more to tell us than we're giving them credit for.
In the Hebrew Bible, the Nephilim were the sons of gods. They were also known as giants and considered to be the fallen ones. Michael Mott's research suggests that they might have retreated underground.
Of the tribe that said that they were guarding the entrance to the inner earth. They said it would take maybe a couple of weeks to finally get down far enough where they would meet the inhabitants, and they were just these gigantic people. anywhere between 10 and 11 and a half feet tall. They talked about how when they got far enough down, one of the things they saw was basically molten rock. And that's exactly what modern science tells us you should find underneath the earth. And how would a primitive people know that?
The evidence left behind for the giants on this planet is staggering.
I have found bones and body parts in the mountains that are 50 times, 100 times, 500 times the size of humans. So the ancient stories of giants on Earth have been passed on over and over again. There's definitely an agenda to hide the origins of humanity, to hide the true history of our species, the true history of the planet, of what happened here. Our entire history has been rewritten and hidden from us for so long.
Giants have been found.
So there's over 1,500 newspaper articles from the early 1900s, late 1800s of non-stop discoveries of giant bones.
There are over 100 large human-looking mysterious footprints preserved in stone for thousands of years all over the world.
What are these giants and what happened to them?
You can't fake those footprints in stone. Somebody with a gigantic foot stepped in mud at some point in time in prehistory, and that mud petrified in order for that to be displayed there. It's on a giant rock on the side of a freaking mountain. There's not only one of them, there's multiple of those footprints all over the place. There's even a footprint of a man. This has nothing to do with giants, but there's a footprint of a man next to a footprint of a dinosaur. It's either the stone is incorrect or the scientists are incorrect. And I don't think the footprint on a stone is going to be incorrect. But you guys let me know in the comments below if you believe that the giants really existed or not.
All the lights turn dim, the TV turns off, and I turn around, there were these two beings right there. They had the big almond eyes like you see on TV. I swear they did. But they didn't look like they were real eyes. They looked like coverings of some type. They didn't communicate with me through any kind of telepathy that I could tell, but I felt like my brain was shaking in my skull to the point where it started hurting, and I started screaming, but no sound was coming out of my throat. I could feel the air coming out, but I couldn't hear it myself. They didn't really have on what looked like clothes to me. They weren't really gray. They were almost like brownish, but they had very big eyes, two little tiny dots for nose, a slit for a mouth. They never opened their mouth. They never opened. They never moved at all. They didn't even shake. There was no facial movements. I couldn't discern if they were even real or not real, or in terms of like being something that was flesh. But their hands were very long and dangly like you see on TV, I swear to you, and I was just like completely shocked.
And you were awake during this period? You weren't taking a nap or anything like that?
Taking a nap, no psychedelics.
Of course, yeah.
And I'm not changing my story because this really happened to me.
Something like that actually happened to me when I was around 18, 19. I was sleeping one night and like around, I want to say it was like 3, 4 in the morning. Like I woke up and I couldn't move, and I looked to the side and there was 4 little figures. They looked just like grays, but like he said, they weren't gray, they were brownish. And I was levitating off the bed, I want to say about a foot off the bed, and I couldn't move. And when I looked to the side and I saw those figures, I freaked out. I tried to scream, but there was no sound coming out of my mouth. And then I tried to move until I was able to like shake myself out of it. When like I snapped out of it, and then they saw that I was awake, I dropped down to the bed from like the 1 foot that I was levitating in the air. Then when I looked around back, they weren't there. I looked around the room and then I saw them. They were up on the ceiling, or there was one on a corner directly in front of my bed, and they were camouflaged like if you guys seen Predator? They had that type of camouflage where you could barely see them, but you could see the silhouette like blending in. I saw one right in front of me still, then there was another one on the other corner of the room, and then there was 2 running out of the bedroom. The door was open, which it was never, my door was always closed to my room. I still couldn't scream. And then when I tried to show my girlfriend what I was looking at, and I looked back, they were gone. So there's a lot of weird stuff out there. Like I've only told this to a couple of friends and my family, and I don't think my family ever believed me anyways. And my friends are usually like, hey. So, but now you guys know. But let me know in the comments if something like that's ever happened to you guys or anybody you know.
The people who run our society consider themselves gods, and that's why they're not explaining.
Boy, they do. They don't think they have to.
Oh, I've noticed.
They don't think. I think I was talking to somebody and they said to me, well, they think they're more than human.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah, I go, they're not even human because humans care about their environment and their neighbors, and humans care about, other people's children. Of
course.
And humans care about living things.
Yes.
But they don't do any of that. And he goes, because they think they're more than human.
Oh, I noticed.
They
That's why
think
they
they're
want to live forever.
royals. They think they're like royals in a rarefied sphere of DNA or something above us. Like, did they come from another planet? When you hear people talk, I can't either. But
this is the podcast to speculate on it, though.
well, because some people say, a lot of religious people, they're into some deep rabbit holes of things, and I don't know anything.
Well, you can see why they are, though. I mean, speaking for myself, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if this is the Nephilim, right?
I was going to say.
I don't.
I know.
Here we go.
That's what I said.
No. Let me just say. I said I don't know anything about that stuff. Okay, I'm a very ordinary middle-aged man who spent his life following politics and theology, but I do know that whatever's going on is very deep.
Yeah,
I've spent my whole life around politicians and seen decisions get made, interviewed people who run things, and what's happening now is qualitatively different. So different that it's not in the same category at all.
No.
This is hurting people for the sake of hurting them. This is lying for the sake of lying. This is, as the devil hates holy water, they hate the truth. You tell the truth about anything. It almost doesn't matter what it's about. It doesn't have to be about the next election.
Right.
It can just be about history, for example.
Right.
Telling the truth about history. Why should that offend anybody?
That really pisses
Periods where everyone's dead. And we can't, of course, change the past, so there's nothing really at stake for us now, right? You would think people would welcome open-minded historical inquiry to get closer to what actually happened in whatever period or in whatever event. They hate that.
Yes.
Well, what are you watching? You're watching someone who hates the truth because it's true. And there's no possible profit motive that is driving that. There's no political end that is driving that. They hate the truth.
Wow, there's a lot of stuff to unpack on that one video. First of all, let's start with these people think that they are more than humans, that they're better than humans. Let's talk about Tucker Carlson, because I think he knows way more than what he's showing. The thing is that he knows if he talks too much, stuff might happen to him. So he's trying to keep it, like, oh, I don't know nothing. He's trying to fake it. But the first thing they talk about is these people thinking that they're better than humans, meaning that they're not humans. So their DNA makes them better than humans. So what are you guys thinking? You think fallen angels? Because they mention Nephilim. So maybe these are the new children of the fallen. And that's why they think that they're entitled to everything and they do whatever they want. The other thing they mentioned is all these bad things and they don't seem to have any purpose behind it. But the one thing that they do show is that they hate the truth. Everything truthful, they hate it. And Tucker Carlson says it's not politics. It's not any type of economical agenda. That's another hint he's giving, saying this is something biblical. It's not human. It's something biblical, what is happening. So the only thing I can think of is these people we know they're worshiping Satan, but the other thing is, I think they are the children of the fallen. And that's the missing link that at least I didn't know about. So you guys let me know in the comments what you think these people are, or they think they are the children of the fallen. They are some type of half-breed that we don't know about. Let me know in the comments, please.
So check this out, you guys. This may be a small form of disclosure, but they have found 7 alien megastructures throughout our solar system, y'all. They are calling these things Dyson spheres, and they just popped up in our solar system, you guys. Check this out.
A group of researchers say they've identified at least 7 stars that might be surrounded by super advanced alien megastructures known as Dyson spheres. Yes, I said alien structures, and I know what you're thinking, but just stay with me here, because the basic idea was this. Superior intelligent life might build big structures around their home stars or planets as a way to harness or reuse that energy. A 1960s physicist who came up up with this idea, Freeman Dyson argued that if these structures existed, there'd be so much energy that human scientists on Earth could probably spot it because it would emit a lot of infrared radiation. So in this new study, researchers say they found 7 sources glowing in the infrared, those are their words, but couldn't find an obvious explanation for why these sources are glowing so much, which could mean they're Dyson spheres or something else entirely. And what I'm saying is, what? Space is so crazy. I wish I understood it better. So let's talk to a scientist to help wrap our heads around this. I'm joined now by Professor Jana Levin. She is an astrophysicist and author of the book Black Hole Survival Guide, as well as the Claire Tow Professor of Physics and Astronomy at Barnard College of Columbia University. Professor, first of all, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I tried to explain it a little bit. That was my very dirty version. I was going to be like, yeah, but I'm an English major who just had Google. You have a PhD in physics from MIT. So how do you explain Dyson spheres?
I think that was an excellent explanation. If you look at where we are relative to the sun, we're very far away. We're the 3rd planet in. And imagine the light that we try to collect, let's say, with solar panels on people's homes or on any roofs to collect that energy. Imagine if you got really close and you caught everything the sun was emitting. It's just a tremendous amount of power. And so Freeman Dyson was thinking about this. Actually, he was originally inspired by sci-fi, written by Olaf Stapleton like decades earlier. And his idea wasn't so much a solid sphere. It was really like satellites in orbit, a network of things that would be orbiting and would essentially, what we would now say, have solar panels and are collecting that energy.
So what do you make of this study, generally speaking, I guess? Do you think it's possible that these are the elusive Dyson spheres?
So I think it's very unlikely, but I'm open. We have to be open as scientists. If we think we know the answer before we go and observe, then we're already defeated. I think it's terribly unlikely, but it's extremely exciting and interesting to think about. And it's fun to think about. What's probably going to happen is we're going to look at this infrared signature that you mentioned, and we're going to find out that there's a natural cause. So a lot of things emit heat in the infrared. You know, infrared goggles allow us to see human bodies and the heat of human bodies. And it's not that dissimilar that when we look in the infrared, we see things emitting heat. So the idea was if we had this very technologically advanced civilization, like thousands of years beyond where we are right now, and they could build such a thing and it was collecting all this energy, it would collect also some heat and it would have to cool off, and we would see that in the infrared. But there are other natural possibilities that could explain.
What do you think those possibly could be?
Well, it could be a very young star that still has some material around it in kind of a disk, and that's how planets form. Planets coalesce out of these early disks, and those can emit in the infrared. It could be that there's actually an entire galaxy in the distance behind the star, and we're seeing that galaxy, and we can't disambiguate those. Or it could be planetary collisions. I mean, there are natural explanations. But I think it's worth noting, we're looking just 1,000 light years around us. That sounds far, but it's actually really close. That's our backyard. The entire Milky Way galaxy is 100,000 light years across. And there are probably more planets in the Milky Way galaxy than there are stars.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. It seems that to me they are being cryptic, okay? They are hiding information, okay? There is something in the atmosphere, or many things in the atmosphere, that they are not telling us about. Now, if you've seen the Netflix series 3 Body Problem, they told us that they are here and they are watching. They said they have came back from our future into the past to save what's going on. And then ever since then, you see the planets happen. You see what's happening to the planet, literally. You see what's going on with the planet. Just look at their body language, you know? Let me know what you guys think about this video. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I'm only raising awareness to interesting situations during these interesting times. Like, comment, and share for more videos like.
Sounds fun if it is true, but I don't know. Do you think they're trying to hide the fact that it is some type of alien technology? Is this how they're trying to let us know that there's aliens out there? But then again, you know, I don't believe in aliens. I believe in aliens being something else altogether. But you guys let me know what you think.
What's a coincidence that you think about a lot?
I don't know what you would consider a lot, but I've thought about this every day for the past 2 years. In 1888, a man named Ingersoll Lockwood wrote a book called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, where a 10-year-old boy named Baron Trump, who has a mentor named Don, who is a rich man who lives on Fifth Avenue in New York City, he and Don travel to Russia to find a portal to a magical underground world. The third book in the series is called 1900 or The Last President, where Don runs for president, gets elected. His mentor's name is Pence. There are protests and riots in the streets because he's not a politician. He's a rich man. He fixes the economy, and they mess with the election of 1900. And when he goes to plead his case, he is silenced by the Speaker of the House. There's a lot of coincidences right there. Also, I guess it's a coincidence that Ingersoll Lockwood lived in New York City at the same time as Nikola Tesla, who was working on time travel and teleportation and all sorts of craziness. When Nikola Tesla died in 1943, the FBI gave all of his unfinished research to John Trump, Donald Trump's uncle, who is the longest tenured professor at MIT.
What the?
He was given, I believe, 38 trunks of information. He only gave 35 back, stating that it was all theoretical. Interesting. I guess it's also a coincidence that IngersollLockwood.com is owned by John McAfee, who tweeted that he had 31 terabytes of information on the government. And if they ever whacked him, he had a dead man. Oh, fuck. Anyway, John McAfee said that he had 31 terabytes of information on the government that was connected to a dead man switch in his Miami penthouse. Less than 12 hours after he was found dead in his cell in France, a building in Miami just mysteriously just fell down.
Bro.
That's a coincidence, right? I haven't even talked about Back to the Future yet, but John Trump died in 1985, which is the same year as Back to the Future came out. In Back to the Future 3, the Doc writes a letter from 1885 to 1955 to let Marty know where he is in time. Could these books be a message to somebody from 1885 into the future? As long as we're talking about Back to the Future, in the first movie, Marty shows up at the Twin Pine Mall at exactly 1:16 a.m. You turn that upside down, that's 9/11. When he comes back from the past, it is now Lone Pine Mall. Twin Towers, and now we have the One World Trade Center.
Holy crap.
Coincidence. It's coincidence. Sure, it's nothing. And yeah, I've spent a little bit of time researching this coincidence, and I still got nothing. I don't know. Time travel, it's probably real. Like, time travel exists now. Yep.
Holy crap, man. What? That's a lot of freaking coincidences right there. I didn't know that about Donald Trump and Tesla and all that other stuff about his grandfather being the person that received all of Tesla's documents, and that Tesla was working on time travel. But dude, that what was that? Like a play-by-play story of Donald Trump down to the T, and the world. And then the World Trade Center, Twin Pine Mall, and then coming back and being just Single Pine Mall or whatever. Holy crap, man! If you don't believe in time travel, this is the start of your journey right there. There's a lot of information there you should look into. That's a good rabbit hole to start with. I'm definitely going to go down that rabbit hole because I want to know more. That was really interesting. If you are enjoying the content, please hit that like button so that YouTube could share this video to others. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Let's grow this community to be the best community on YouTube. Please comment down below if you have any suggestions or you just want to say hi, and see you next time.